Well, 'tis the season that plans change immediately after you get to work, and what you thought you're going to do all day turns into something different. All right, guys, well, we've been done with harvest about a week and a half now. Had a great Thanksgiving, but it seems like this last week and a half, we're even more busy than what we was during harvest. It's gotten that time of year where everybody starts calling you, everybody needs something. You got all of your end of year stuff to get done, and it seems like you're just going in a million different directions. But we tried to do a little bush hogging around the fields, and you got a couple of days of that done, and then the 4440 laid down on us with a transmission. I think the dampener went bad in the power shift, so we swapped to the loader tractor, and then got another day in, and then the CV drive shaft tore up, so got parts coming in on that. We've been working on getting some equipment cleaned up here and there, like what I'm doing now. And you got the picker ready for the wash pad. Anyway, it's November 30th. Got him started hauling corn today. And then when we get parts in for the bush hog, we'll probably have to go back to bush hogging, and I'll have to haul corn. Kelly probably do a little bit of hauling corn, because we got more corn to deliver this year than ever before. I think we got somewhere around 80,000 bushels, so lots of trips to the granary, and unfortunately 20,000 of those bushels got to go to the river because I just royally screwed the pooch on marketing my corn this year. Thought I had a good opportunity with a better basis at the river earlier this year than what we did with Tyson. Plus I could get a call option through them, which I thought we would use. And anyway, we did have an opportunity to make a good profit off that, but I didn't pull the trigger. I did on about 5,000 bushels, but 15,000 bushels I just kind of let go, thinking we are gonna get better prices, and of course we didn't. So anyway, we got roughly half of our corn crop contracted through Bunge and Tyson for what I think is gonna be a pretty decent price. That leaves the other half, and we gotta deliver here in, hey, come didn't turn the water on. But anyway, our corn's gotta be delivered here in December, not only for our tax situation, but also our landlord's tax situations. If I push it to the next year, try and get a better price, it's just really going to screw everybody's taxes up. So what we're going to do is we're going to deliver the 20,000 to Bunge, and then we're going to do the same thing at Tyson, and we're going to go ahead and set the basis on it and price it out at a later date. They'll go ahead and cut us in advance for like 70% of our crop at current market prices. So we'll be pushing some income into 2024, but not near as much, and hopefully it gives us a chance over the next couple of months to take advantage of some higher prices. Well, we had some other things going on. This pressure washer, actually, the burner broke on it. Right there at Thanksgiving, had to drive down to Memphis to get parts. Also been doing a little shopping because we got the pretty big income this year, and taxes gonna eat me up. So my plan all along this year was to replace my blue truck, my F-250. I've been doing some shopping on that. I think I found the truck I want, so it's supposed to be delivered here next week after they do a couple odds and ends to it. We had to go get our cows. Had to get the feed for our cows. Had to do some repairs on the barn. So anyway, that's the kind of stuff we've been working on here the last week and a half. So So I imagine this video is going to be a whole lot of time lapses, us hauling corn, us cleaning equipment, and then Lord knows whatever else we get into or tears up or goes wrong or who knows what. It's December, anything can happen. Hadn't even hardly got my pressure washer fired up, and the lime guys called me. They wanted to start hauling, so had to get everything sorted out, so show them where to dump, and then Andy's already run a couple loads, and Kelly's at physical therapy, so I'm doing the loading and stuff. And anyway, went to blend a little bit of corn out of number 4 here. It's still a little bit wet at the top. The drying front hadn't had a chance to make it all the way to the top yet, so probably got about some 17-18% moisture corn all the way at the top of this bin. So I was wanting to blend it with what we've been loading out of in bin 3, where all that corn is super dry, actually a little bit over dry. So just wanted to blend it in a little bit so we don't get hit with a dock on wet corn when we start coming out of this bin. And anyway, went to hit the button. My second auger is right here. It come on. My main auger coming out of the bin is not coming on. So we gotta do a little bit of diagnosing. I suspect I got a starter bad. That's normally the problem. Have grain bins, they said. It'll make you a lot of extra money, they said. Yeah, but they sure are a huge pain in the butt. All right, let me see if I can do this one-handed here. All right, yep, got 480 volts going in on all 3 legs. I'm gonna hit the start button. And no voltage coming out of it. So, yep, I got a starter bad. Man, it just seems like this stuff just doesn't last. This electrical stuff just doesn't last any time at all. I mean, this bin and all this is only 4 years old, I think, maybe 3. All right, make sure you turn off the power. And then always verify to make sure the power is actually off. Because I have been known to cut the wrong breaker off. Yep, no power. All right, we're going to pull this starter out, see if we can source a replacement. Now this part up here, this is the actual starter. This part down here is just the overload. So overload should still be good. And all I should have to replace is this top half right there. All right, got our new starter in. Should be just a simple matter of wiring it back up correctly. Thankfully, I remember to take pictures before all the little wires go. All right, got her installed. All right, let's try to see if everything comes on. I don't think this one came on. Nope. Oh, I think I see what it was. The reset on the overload here was tripped. Let's try her again. Oh yeah, she's running now. All right, now if that's working, what I'm gonna try to do is, you know, for every 1,100 bushels that we put in the tank out of bin 3 of dry corn, you know, I'll probably try to put, you know, 150, 200 bushels of wet corn here. And it's not wet all the way to the top, just like the top layer or so, you know, probably maybe 3,000 bushels or so is a little bit over moisture. You know, we'll just slowly blend this in while we're emptying all of the, I don't know, probably 38,000 bushels in bin 3. And then plus we got 11,000 bushels of corn here in bin 1. We'll have plenty of corn to blend it together. So hopefully they're on, you know, 4,000 bushels. You know, we don't take any kind of dock on our corn for being over moisture. out here on this fine day. I think it's December 13th. You can see we're out here tractor bush hog. I put Andy back on hauling grain because he been having nothing but problems bush hogging around the field. So I figured we swap out, that way I could handle any more problems that pop up. First thing you notice, this ain't the 4440 hooked to the bush hog. 4440 is what we do all our bush hogging with. Well, not right now, because while he was bush hogging, that transmission issue finally reared its ugly head. You know, we worked on the 4440 last winter for broken frame bolts and everything, and when we replaced all that, I got all that straight, our transmission seemed to act a lot better with not slipping or whatever. I knew we didn't ultimately address the real problem, which was in the transmission, but it was acting a whole lot better, so we kept on running it. Well, while he was bush hogging, it started slipping. In fact, slipping so bad that it wouldn't hardly move. So we wound up having to tow it to the John Deere dealership, which luckily was right down the road. So it's off getting that attended to. I'm pretty sure the dampener on the power shift was what finally gave out. So got all this bush hogging to do. We hooked our loader tractor up to it, and then he started bush hogging, and then he hadn't done but a few hours, and yoke on our drive shaft snapped. Never seen that before. Just kind of thought it was a random occurrence. So anyway, we got that fixed and replaced. Took a few days to get parts in. Then he started bush hogging again. Another few hours, the PTO shaft cut out of the tractor snapped in half. And then when that happened, I knew that wasn't some freak occurrence. Something was wrong. So anyway, got to looking, and anyway, our drawbars is a little bit different than what it is on the 4440, and the PTO shaft is a little bit farther back, closer to the drawbar. So realized our drive shaft was too long. So whenever you turned, got it in a bind, it was didn't have any more room to collapse. So that's what broke all that. So anyway, we shortened up the drive shaft about 6 inches, and anyway, that fixed that. He bush hogged another day or two, and then went to come out here, started bush hogging, got everything serviced, and then noticed a lot of oil leaking up under the cab. And anyway, this hose right here was leaking out oil pretty bad. It was a steady stream. And then I don't know if you can see it, right up there is a barb that this hose mounts onto. Anyway, there's a pretty good story behind that. So anyway, I put him on the truck, came out here to start fixing on the tractor, and this hose is dang near impossible to get to. You see that elbow kind of goes down. Anyway, you got 2 Allen bolts holding it on, and the back of the cab, I mean, there's no way to get in there and get those bolts out. So anyway, I was in a real fine mood at that time. I was in prime form, so realized the only way to get that off is we're gonna have to jack the cab up, and I didn't want to do it, but there's no other way around it. So anyway, I took my bolts loose out the back here, got my jacking post situated under here, and started jacking. I was getting it on up there, started to get plenty of clearance, like I'll give it another couple pumps. And all of a sudden I heard pop. For those of y'all that run tractors, you might guess what's coming next. What I failed to take into account was the clearance between the cab glass and the hood. Now if you notice, that glass looks pretty shiny and got some tape holding it on up there, and there's also no tint on the windshield. That's right, I jacked it up enough, tilted it far enough forward that the hood got into the glass and busted the windshield out. Anyway, rain was coming later that night and the next day, so I scrambled around. I actually found a place that had a windshield in stock. I'm completely shocked. It was up there in Boot Hill, Missouri, so Kelly went and got it. I found a company that could actually come out and install it that day. So anyway, while all that was being organized, I got my hose off, and I knew nobody had that in stock. Like, well, I can probably get one made up in Humboldt, and knew we had to reutilize one end because it was such a unique end. So anyway, I got a new hose made up, compression fitting onto the old part of the old part of the pipe that hooks up to it. Anyway, brought it back out here, installed it. Kelly started the tractor up, everything fine, no leaks, whatever else. The company showed up and installed my glass. Thing went fine. Getting a late day, I'm gonna go do a little bit of bush hogging. Then when I started it up, went to raise a bush hog up, and I had absolutely no hydraulics. And then the hydraulic pump started whining. Then I started smelling hydraulic oil. And then, yep, you're right. That compression fitting where the hose had to be hooked up to this old part of the pipe blew off. So anyway, had to order a actual new pipe hose from New Holland. Finally got it in today, and we are going to slap it on and hopefully get the bush hogging with no more problems. But all in all, I wasted a solid day, over $1,000 worth of glass installation, getting a new hose made up, plus lost 15 gallons of hydraulic oil, and we're exactly where we started at the beginning of that day. Nothing's fixed, nothing's running. Will be after I put this thing on. Yeah, that was not a good Friday. I was not in a good mood. Like I said, worked all day, spent over $1,000 and got absolutely zero accomplished. So now that I've done it before, this ought to go pretty quickly on getting new hose put on, but I'm gonna be dang careful not to break that glass out again. Anyway, before I jack it up, all this stuff that's in the way to get this hose, go ahead and take it off. Alright, so there compression fitting was, blew it right off. Alright, now ready to take the cab support or bolts out. Alright, now we're ready to jack the cab up. Alright, check the windshield. Alright, I still got some more room. Check it again. We still got clearance. It's still got a ways to go before I can get an Allen wrench on there though. Alright, I've got it jacked up enough to where I think I can just barely get that top bolt out. Bottom one got plenty of room, but I think I can now get that out. And well, she's up about as far as I want to bring her. Alright, got the new one installed, got the rest of this stuff put back together. You gonna let her down?
Sure.
Real easy, we don't want to slam it down and breaking none of my other glass.
I don't do that. Is it lining up? Oh man.
Yes, go ahead and let it all the way down. They'll spread out.
These are not lining up.
They'll line up once it comes down.
Okay. Some kimosabi.
All right there.
What?
Are they gonna hold?
It better hold. This is the second time you've done it.
Yep. Why don't you try it out, raise the bush hog up, and make sure that all the oil stays in the reservoir where it's supposed to be. I'm gonna stand back just in case. I don't need a hydraulic oil bath to improve my mood. All right, raise it up. All right, and no oil coming out anywhere. You just ever feel like you're just plain old destined to not get a job done? That's exactly how I feel now. What you're looking at there is a gearbox off my bush hog. I knew I had a problem with this gearbox because it's starting to leak oil out of the seal, and you can feel some play in the blades and everything. But I was hoping it'd make it through what we got left of bush hog. But as you can see, it did not make it. Right here we got the output shaft for the blades and whatever. It's got 2 bearings on there. There's 1 bearing, and well, that's what was left of the other bearing. So anyway, got more expensive parts ordered and on the way, but it's a beautiful day outside, dry, and can't do any bush hogging. The bearing's no problem to get, but when the bearing went out, it messed up this gear, broke a tooth off. So that's a big thing. Definitely got to order from Rhino, so it's going to take a little while to get in. I know some of y'all saying, well, you know, what's the big deal about bush hogging and everything? Well, I've got it wrote into my land lease agreements with my landlords that we will clip around the farms once a year, get them looking nice, and this is the time of year that we always do it. So, you know, keep my landlords happy, and also to fulfill my contract. You know, we got to do all the bush hogging and maintenance on their farm, so pretty important that we get that done. And I know from my cotton harvest videos, a lot of people say, well, it looks like it's time for a new bush hog for you. Nah, not really. I mean, look, that Rhino bush hog we got, it's a good bush hog. Yeah, we've had to do some work on it, and we're probably going to bring it through the shop for probably a complete overhaul this winter. But the frame and everything is big, heavy, and tough. I haven't had to do any welding. You know, the structure of it's real good, but you know, when you got drive shafts and U-joints and gearboxes and stuff, occasionally this kind of stuff happens, and it just seems like all these stuff is happened this year, whereas, you know, normally in past years we haven't hardly had to do much work to it. So we'll probably bring it through the shop for a good overhaul this winter, and hopefully all these problems we're having this year we won't have again next year. But no, I'm not about to drop that kind of money on a bush hog. Those suckers are expensive, and I got a good one, and it's paid for, and it'll be in better shape come next fall than what it is right now. So in the meantime, I guess it's back to washing equipment.